Hello, everyone. It is Pal Ponder on Weather coming to you with the tropical update. I figure I'd do another video to kind of show you what's happening in the tropics. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, if you see value in this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. So let's kind of delve right into it. Here is the latest NHC, the North National Hurricane Center outlook for the next 5 days. You can kind of see there's nothing going on. We've only had two named storms. We thought we had Chantel earlier in the week, but that got suppressed in the sinking air, which we'll kind of go over a little bit, the reasons why that got shut down. So here, like I said, the next 5 days, I'm not expecting anything in the Atlantic whatsoever. So the reasons why are there's an extreme amount of African dust right now. This is coming off the African coast. You can see some of the reds, the yellows. That's essentially just shutting everything down. It's just squashing everything that's trying to rise up in that atmosphere. It's just shutting everything down. That's what happened to Chantel, that it just got squashed down in that sinking air. Here's your latest JMA. This came out on July the 31st. This was week 1, and as you can see, some of the reds and the yellows, that is sinking air. A lot of the blues are upward rising motion air, and that's what you kind of look for. That would be conducive for tropical development. But as you can see, there's nothing going on in our area. It's all sinking air, and actually even extends further out into week 2, where it's even greater. So the next week is just almost impossible for anything to form. Because it's enhanced all over the Gulf of Mexico as well as the Atlantic. But if we kind of extend it out to week 3, you can see this is, of course, 17 days out now. You can see some of the reds kind of subsiding, kind of get a little bit more favorable development. And you can see there's actually no shading whatsoever in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's key, what I'm going to show you coming up. So here's what they call the MJO, the Madden-Julie oscillation. I kind of look at this for what would be favorable and non-favorable. So your favorable phases are phase 8, 1, 2, and 3. Your non-favorable phases, where we're at right now, you can see some of the greens. That's kind of where we're at, is phase 4, 5, and 6. It's almost impossible for something to form in those zones, and this is actually through August the 19th. So if you extend it out even further, here's your current sea surface temperatures. You can see some of the reds that's in the Atlantic and in the Gulf of Mexico, a lot of the blues off the African coast. Again, there's no upwelling that's going to occur over the next 2 weeks. So all these temperatures are just going to enhance even further, especially as we get closer to peak season, which is September 10th. All right. So the last slide, this is kind of what I'm kind of looking at, 3 weeks out, is a ridge. This is the latest GEFS model. This is 16 days out. This is all the way through August 21st. We're looking at a ridge potentially building in the northeast. So whenever we have a ridge building in the northeast, you saw there's no sinking air in the Gulf of Mexico. We look for convergence underneath and potentially the Gulf of Mexico and the southeast coast. And this also would coincide with what they call the recurring cycle theory, that cycles through a same pattern that cycles through every 7 weeks. And that coincides pretty much at the end of August. So I'm looking at some sort of potentially tropical development in the Gulf or the southeast coast towards the end of August. Okay, so that's kind of like what I'm looking at ahead. In summary, the next 2 weeks, obviously there's nothing going on. As we go into that 3rd week of August, I'm going to look for some sort of convergence underneath with that ridge building in the northeast, something developing in the Gulf of Mexico, potentially Chantel, and off the southeast coast. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you saw value in this video, please consider subscribing to this channel, and I'll catch you at the next video. I appreciate it.